That's right.
Would you sort of start with, how do you sort of summarize what's kind of been going on with Jerry Jeudy this season and what you guys can do or what he's trying to do to kind of get himself right?
Yeah, Jerry has approached this year no different than he approached last year, and it's been really outstanding the way he's approached it. And he's done a great job of working hard, putting the team first, and, there's times that it doesn't go his way. And that's true of all players, I would say. Like, there's going to be some adversity along the way. I think Jerry's done a good job of really trying to, stay focused on his job. And as we say, our job is to get open and catch the ball, regardless of the game, the opponent, regardless of the situation. And that's what we've encouraged Jerry to do. Certainly, Jerry has high expectations, and he should. He's a very good player. So we've just put the focus back on doing our job. That's getting open, catching the ball, doing what's best for the team, competing in the run game. And Jerry has worked hard to try to do that.
I know you say you have to, regardless of the situation. Mm-hmm. That said, you look through his career, he's just dealt with so many different quarterbacks for a variety of reasons. Can that just sort of weigh on a wide receiver after a while that, look, I'm constantly having to adjust to somebody else throwing the football?
I mean, the more a receiver works with a certain quarterback, the better, right? So Jerry, throughout his career, certainly had a lot of different quarterbacks. Jerry has he's very intelligent football player. So it doesn't take him long to work well with quarterbacks. It's just the time on task is what's most important. And, I appreciate the way Jerry's gone about his business as far as, knowing the circumstances that you are dealing with a different quarterback and you have, several times in your career. But I always say, Jerry, let's put the focus, which he has, back on doing your job, putting the blinders on and just concentrating on that. And knowing that the quarterback does have a huge factor in, our success. That's, that's true. But what's most important is that we put all the focus on us and just doing our job regardless of who's throwing the ball. And, Jerry's got a very unique perspective based on his past experience working with different quarterbacks and now working with a few this year, which should be advantage to Jerry because he's done that, and that's unique.
So is it the same conversation when there's the sideline argument that Engineer had? Like, is that part of it, or is there something, maybe a new element when it is so visible like that?
Yeah, I think it's a work in progress, and we are very fortunate to have competitive football players, and we're all trying to do what's best for the team, and the competitive nature of all these guys is something that I respect greatly. And it's a work in progress to try to get on the same page. The quarterback needs us to be detailed and at the right spot, and we need the quarterbacks to throw the ball on time and accurately. And everybody's got to do their job so each other can go out and do theirs, And certainly that's true of all positions. It's just not unique to the receiver and quarterback relationship and working together and the development of those two players. That's true of all positions. We stand by each other, they stand by each other in the huddle, and they need each other to do their job exactly the way we want it done to be successful. So it's really no different. It's just, we've had some moving parts, and we're doing the best job we can of just focusing on us and trying to do the best we can for the team.
You see a sideline confrontation like that. Is that just so common in football, and most of the time it's probably just not captured by the cameras?
Yeah, throughout my career, I've been fortunate to be around a lot of great players who have been highly competitive. And, you see that happen often where players, have an exchange that maybe doesn't get caught on the camera or maybe doesn't get seen because it happens behind closed doors. But it's certainly something that, is kind of, it happens. And, it's competitive guys and certainly – I appreciate their competitiveness, and we're all just trying to do what's best, and that's to help the team win, and that's what we'll continue to do.
As someone who's you've been been a play caller. You've been around a lot of play callers. What have you learned about Tommy kind of in this last month since he's taken over that
Yeah,
play
Tommy Reese has been outstanding. I mean, I've been fortunate to be around a lot of good coaches, but Tommy is just very impressive as an offensive coordinator. He's highly, very intelligent. He works very well with the staff. He's a great communicator. And the thing he does best is he's a tremendous leader. Tommy has done just a great job of providing leadership to our offense when it always hasn't been good. I think the greatest trait of a leader is how you can lead when times are tough, and he's just done an outstanding job being in front of the guys on a daily basis of providing leadership. And I know I've really enjoyed working with him, and he's just done a really good job with our offense.
We've seen Malachi have an impact on those jet sweeps. Do you think there's more to his game as a receiver?
I think that's something that we're really working hard on with Malachi. He has really done a great job with the ball in hand plays, and I think we're interested in seeing what else he can do. And I think that there is more. And and I say that because Malachi comes in here every day and he works so hard, and he's got a great skill set. He's got great play strength, and he's got good athleticism. And he brings a really good competitive style. He brings energy to our team. So we're looking forward to pushing the needle to see how much we can do with him, whether it's maybe an increased route tree or just more than ball in hand plays. He's done a great job in our run game of blocking, obviously. He's got great strength and a great play style. But I do think that, Malachi can do some increased things for us, and he'll increase his value if he can.
Said, I think it seems like Said is another one that maybe he's getting a slow integration back into things after the hamstring, or what's kind of going on with Said?
Yeah, Said did a really good job in his rehab of getting back to the field, number one. But I do think with any player, when you come off of an injury, there still is that acclimation period. And to compound that, now working with a different quarterback. So you're coming off an injury, you're working hard to get back. You get back to the field, and Said is doing everything he can. I think that one of the things that gets unseen with Said is, maybe not the targets in the pass game, but he does such a good job for us in the run game that gets unnoticed sometimes. It doesn't get unnoticed by us as coaches and the players in the room because they see it every day and they see it on film. Maybe the camera doesn't catch that part of it, but he certainly does a very good job in the run game and providing us some things that maybe just are beyond the catches. So Said's going to continue to work hard, but I really appreciate how he got back, and I think our medical staff here does a great job of getting the guys back to playing. And there was an example of Said that they got him back on the field. Now he just needs to continue to acclimate and just like we were all doing, just continue to try to get better. Good?
Ask about Isaiah Bond real
Yeah.
quick. How has his development been throughout the season? What are you seeing?
Yeah, Isaiah Bond, similar to other rookies we've had, it's continued to arrow up. He's really he's worked hard. I think with all rookies, it's like that first lap around the track. It's a transition for him, but he's certainly, it's been all positive. He's continued to improve every day. He's certainly improved greatly on just learning the NFL game. I think it's just so challenging for these guys when they come from college to pros, especially at the receiver position for us with, they're now moving around to different alignments and they're on maybe a slightly different route tree and the timing is definitely different. And now you're working with different quarterbacks. So with all that being said, those things are challenging, but Isaiah has done well of really just trying to embrace the playbook and learning how to understand defenses and to do his job, and understand that, hey, there's more to this than just running a route on air. I need to understand the defenses, and I need to understand how to go about this. Good. Thanks, guys.
Don't you ever just hit power on these and just let them ride? See, Mary Kay records it, so you can't do that. How's everyone doing? Good? Great.
Where is Grant taking the next step in your mind as an all-around football player?
Off the field, on the field, everything. It's just it's where Grant's taking the next step is just letting the world know, who he is, not just on the football field, in the community, in the locker room. You guys don't get to see all the things he does behind closed doors. I mean, I've watched a young man put his arm around players in really tough situations on the sideline. I've seen that man, after tough situations in the locker room, despite how he feels about the situation, the game, whatever it is, just walk up to a player, young player, older player, doesn't matter. Just put his arms around him and really just let him know that he's got him. And that's the part that people don't get to see about that man. And he's special. You see what you see on the football field. Obviously, the Man of the Year award for him, and just super happy for him and his family in that space.
How has Ronnie been doing for you?
Really good. He's done a great job of doing the things that we need in terms of communication, doing a great job of running the show, getting everyone on the same page. When someone looks back and like, hey, he's got the answer, and he's making a fast call, which is always the right call. He's playing really good football for us. He's the situations where he can make a play on the ball, he's been there. So he's done an excellent job in that deal. I don't know where he's at in tackling. You guys have had to check in terms of the amount of tackles. I know it's up there. We're trying to get him to 100 and reach that mark for the first time in his career. So really proud of where he's at, proud of where he's come from as an undrafted free agent to this point, and excited to see where he ends this thing.
We've talked about Jim and you liking to use the three safeties, right? And you're doing it a ton again this year with Rayshawn. Why do you value that so much? And I guess what are the specific things you look for in that third guy? Right? It was Rodney, and now it's Rayshawn.
The biggest thing value-wise is it just provides a lot of flexibility. The day and age of offenses having pretty much positionless players, right? Tight ends who look like receivers, receivers who block like tight ends, running backs who can catch the ball like receivers. When you start to do that on offense, you need to mimic that on defense. And when you can get into that package, it allows a lot of flexibility to be able to do a lot of different things yourself and match up in that world. But more importantly, it allows your linebackers to stay in the A and the B gaps and not move those guys. At the end of the day, we go vertical. Everyone knows that, right? Well, how do you beat that? You get guys to move sideways. Well, how do you do that? How do you stop from team letting do that? Well, you keep those backers getting downhill. You keep your front getting downhill, and then you get those safeties on the sides and let them and the DBs handle all that. What you look for is you look for a guy like Rayshawn, a player that's smart, heady, tough, physical. A guy who can cover in man, which you saw him do that in press man and on tight ends and stuff like that. But then also a guy that if you try to crack him out of the weak side B gap, it's going to be a problem for that receiver. A guy who can also kick to the post. So it's got to be a special player like Rayshawn is that can do basically things a linebacker can do, things a corner can do, things the safety can do. And that's why that position is so unique and special. And you got Grant, who can play like a nickel out in the field, which I spoke on earlier in the year when you guys asked me what that would look like, and that's what he's doing right now, which he's done a great job. Grant's played corner, nickel, safety, quarter, dime. I mean, he's done it all this year.
When you look at kind of where you guys are at, obviously as a team, not where you want to be record-wise, but when we talked to guys on this defense, talked to Grant yesterday, there's still kind of that swagger and that edge. Where does that come from? Guys being able to find that in the way this season's going.
It's just singularly focused on being the best. I mean, as a man, as a person, as a human, you want to control things you can't. It's just how we're built. what you can control is all you can control. And for us defensively is what we do when we're out there. And this group, led by Jim, and these players and our staff, has done a great job of keeping us focused in that area, and not letting the outside situations affect our swag, our effort, how we play, how we attack, our mentality. Jim's done a great job in that area and really making sure that everyone understands that. We do a good job of taking Jim's message and preaching from the same book when we walk in there. And the players have done a great job of listening to that and attacking every day. So it's just handling what you can handle, focusing on what you can focus, keeping the things you can control within your control, and at the end of the day, not letting the other things affect you. It does. You're human. But you gotta put that to the side and stay locked in on what you're doing.
Lift is it for the entire defense that Miles is on the brink of this record and that Carson is on pace to be NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year?
I mean, look, when it comes to Miles, we're 1,000% all in to do whatever it takes to get Miles to that point. We talk about it in the room. Let's get him off the first look. Let's get him off the second look so Miles can get to this record that's historic. And it's a team deal. We're all wanting to do that with him, for him. When it comes to Carson, I mean, you just talk about a young man that just came in here and grabbed the reins, and is not shy and has earned the respect of the room, all rooms in that building right there. He's done a hell of a job. He's playing at an all-pro level, and personnel did a great job of identifying that player and knowing that's the human and the type of person we need, not only just the player, of putting him in this situation. Obviously, the situation coming to the season and not knowing what it was going to be has been great for him too. So, it's been positives, and we've done a good job of highlighting that, and we hope to continue that over the next 5 weeks.
Find yourself.
Let's go ladies first.
Along the lines of your answer about the defense staying motivated and Jim and stuff, I guess, how does Jim get people to buy in to that message, just from your perspective in your third year of working with him?
He's a great storyteller. He's got a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge. He's been through a ton of things. For me, going into year 15, I forget how many years he's got, probably like 50. It's fun to sit back and listen to the stories because he's just been through so much, and he can equate different things that happened in the past and make them come to fruition and paint the picture for the players to see now. And he's done a great job of that. He's also done a really good job of just being calm and cool and collected through this whole deal, and the players feeling that on the sideline. At the end of the day, it's a two-way street. If Jim's high, we got to be low. If Jim's low, we got to be high, and we've done a good job as a staff feeding off that.
Kind of going back to Miles, I know he's not. Do you ever just find yourself in awe of, or how often
Yes.
do you find yourself in awe of what you? I mean, where when you see him do something like the sack he had against the 49ers.
It's funny with Miles, a lot of people know this, but when Miles was coming out of high school, I was at the University of Texas, and I remember watching his tape as a young coach. I remember watching his career through Texas A&M, and then now being on the field with him. I remember Miles walking through the doors as a young recruit. I was a young GA coach, and I remember watching his family walk in, and you just knew he was going to be great one day. And now to be on the field and watch it and see it, and for him to do the things he does at his size against a great Hall of Fame player, of course you're in awe. 100%. Just those situations, you just can't believe what you see. And we watch it. We'll watch it in the safety room and replay it 10, 15 times, just looking at how he turned. When you watch that play on the sack, go back and look at his toe. And Jock does a great job of coaching this, turning that inside toe and the gain, the amount of grass he gains on the second step. It's truly special. It's God-given. He does a great job. And also, I'll say this about Miles, man. You want to talk about a guy who's came in here and worked hard from day one? He's done that, and he's reaping the benefits from that.
Going back to Jim and all the stuff you said about him, and I don't know if this is something he wants at this point. I don't know if we'll get opportunities, but do you think he's a guy that deserves another shot as a head coach?
I mean, yes. To answer that question, yes. I mean, he's He's one of the best coaches in the NFL, period. I'm talking about over a long period of time. And 100% deserves that. But, like everyone in this building, we're 1,000% locked in on right now. And, that's the biggest thing for all of us, Kevin, me, Jim, the players. And we've done a good job of that. So that's what we're doing. We're singularly focused on that right now. And we're thinking about doing the best we can do against Tennessee on Sunday to get ourselves smiling again and that winning feeling.
Ronnie Hickman, when the team scouts him and then signs him as an undrafted free agent, you kind of see his potential through coaching him then, and then to 2 years later, I mean, seeing him kind of reach his potential, see the level he's at. Kind of, what is that feeling like as a coach?
It's why you do it. It's why you coach. If you're in it for the right reasons, you do it because you love watching players grow. You love seeing players, come from where he's came from, and you love to be a part of that. It's the reason why coaches do what they do. I remember Rocket's voice when we called and said, hey, we're going to bring you in as an undrafted free agent. I remember hearing it. I can hear it right now in my mind, and I remind him of that. And I also told him that at the end of this deal, you're going to get what you want, and we're going to prove to this league that you're one of the best safeties in this league. So to help him along the way to do that, I can't wait to see when it's time for him to, do whatever's next. I can't wait to be alongside of him with that. It's going to bring me great joy, more joy than anything else personally. So excited for him, happy for him. He's worked hard, and we're not done when it comes to that.
Watching, them kind of grow. So this season, talking about him trying to get to 100 tackles, kind of, how has this season been, through your eyes, watching him play alongside players like that?
It's definitely, as a coach, it's given me a lot of joy. It's reassured me that the things that I believe in are the right things. And I also know this from a personnel perspective. Getting a guy like him who's willing to take the things that he needs to get better at, put all that aside, and do it, that's also key into this component. So for me, super excited, personally, to see him and his growth, and again, just happy for him. And I just want to keep going through these next 5 weeks when it comes to Rocket to help him get where he needs to get to. Just in closing, just want to just give a big shout out to Grant's family. You talk about a young man who has just given all the time and all the effort outside of this building to be man of the year, but that's also a culmination of his mother, his father, his grandmother, and all the people that poured into him. This is not just we talk about the Miles Award, we talk about the Carson Award, and those are amazing awards, but this is one as a parent, when you watch that, you just know you did your job really, really well. And shout out to his mom, his dad, all the family to help raise him to get him to this point. And at the end of the day, you hope that you raise your children in the same space to be as giving and as the way he has. So happy for him and his family.